Let's go. Well, thank you for the opportunity, Lars, and thanks for what you do for the industry, man. You're a leader. Everybody here, this is the place to be. And I know that, most of y'all are experiencing the market shifting. Y'all feeling that in your markets? Market shifted. So what I want to do today, I want to help you how to dominate a shifting market. In fact, I'm going to go ahead. I got some slides. So make sure you have your pen and paper. Get ready to take notes. I'm going to give you some bullet points today. If I have time, I will open it up for some questions. Can you all see that okay? So I don't care where you are, whether you're a brand new agent, you're a seasoned agent. What I'm going to share with you today is what you need to focus on in order to double your business. If you want to focus on listings, think about, as Lars mentioned, 30 listings in 30 days. For me, that's what I did. I got in real estate when I was in my early 20s. I barely made it through high school. I didn't go to college. And I grew up in Missouri as a country boy. I worked on a dairy farm, and I had a mentor at the time that was a millionaire, and he told me to move. He said, you become a product of your environment. And I go, where do I go? He goes, you need to move to Texas. I said, we're out in Texas. He goes, you belong in Dallas, Texas. And Jimbo took me on my first airplane ride. We came here, y'all, and I was just driving around. I've never seen anything like it. And I moved here, and I didn't know anybody, and I get into real estate. And I lost, in that first 6 months, I blew 50 grand. I was working 80 hours a week. I didn't take a single listing. It wasn't for lack of effort. I was doing the wrong things, but here's what happened. That month 6, I discovered what I'm going to share with you all today. And here's what happened. I went from 0 listings to 30 listings in 30 days. First year, I was rookie of the year, close to 9 million in sales. Here's why I tell you that, because you can turn things around immediately. People say, well, it takes 3 years to make it in real estate. No, it doesn't. It takes 3 seconds. You can turn it around now. So no matter what situation you're in, just know that if you want to, as I'm going to help you today, if you want to change your results, we got to change our actions. But you do have control over that. And that's what I'm excited to share with you today. In fact, for the last 13 years, that's what I've done, is I've helped agents achieve the same. I've done thousands of seminars. I've worked with thousands of agents. And here's the number one thing when I work with an agent, what I want to know is, what are you trying to achieve? You must know what it is that you want. So what does success look like to you? You're spending time here during this training. You've been here for a few days. Why? What is it? What is the vision that you're working towards? I know for me and my vision, I didn't want to work buyers. I only wanted to work listings. And I've never worked a buyer in my life because I had listings. I never bought a lead in my life because I had listings. So success to me and control was listings. And that's where we are right now in a shifting market. You want to focus on listings. You want to dominate listings. You want to collect listings and stack them. And that's what I'm going to help you with today, and to help you achieve more freedom, because I believe this. I believe you can achieve anything you want in life and business. If you have the right mindset, you have models to follow, and you take massive action. You see, the right mindset is everything. Like, how we think of the shift is everything. How we think of the industry and our own skills is everything. But you have to do the work. But if you do the work following the wrong model, then you're not going to get results. I mean, that was me my first 6 months. It wasn't for a lack of massive action. It was for a lack of model for me. I didn't know anybody in this market. And this is the key, is you've got to take massive action, but you always got to make sure you're following the right model and always thinking the right way. And I find that 97% of the population thinks one way and 3% thinks of the other. And this is going to make a lot of sense to you. Obviously, you're here for a reason. You're here as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. You have confidence in your ability. You believe you could have done it. You are going to do it. You possess the growth mindset. Now, the two mindsets are growth mindset and the fixed mindset. Here's the growth. Failure is an opportunity to grow. You can learn and do anything that you want. Challenges help you grow. Your effort and attitude determine your abilities. Feedback is constructive. I'm inspired by the success of others, and I like to try new things. You want to embrace a growth mindset most of the time, because the fixed mindset is what will keep you stuck. It's what will make you fail. It's what will keep you captive to where you are instead of confident in the growth and the trajectory of where you want to go. Because fixed people look like this. They're not here, by the way. They're not here listening to Lars and all of his speakers because they're not learning based, because failure is the limit of their abilities. They're either good at it or they're not. Their abilities are unchanging. I can either do it or I can't. I don't like to be challenged. My potential is predetermined. When I'm frustrated, I just give up, throw in the towel. Feedback and criticism are personal. So don't tell me where to improve and how to improve. I don't want to hear it because I stick to what I know, and I will hate on your success. You see, most people are fixed thinkers. And here's why I want you to understand these two, because the growth mindset is where the results are that you want to achieve. Because for you to get what you want, you're going to have to change what it is that you're doing. And what stops most people from change is fear. And I'm going to help break this because listen, everything that you want is on the other side of fear. Everything you want is usually on the other side of an investment in yourself, investment of your time. Maybe it's this, this summit that Lars is putting on. Your investment of your time will inspire you to go for it. I want you to know there's nothing to fear other than you not going into the unknown, because the unknown is outside the comfort zone. And outside your comfort zone is where all the growth takes place. And that's what I'm going to help you with today. So now we're thinking the right way, y'all. We thinking the right way. We thinking the right positive mindset, growth mindset. Right? We got to put into work the massive action, following the right model. That's what I want to do. I want to give you some models today that inspire you to go take massive action. Because in order to do that, we have to maximize our time. We got to maximize our effort. On the flip side, time and effort have very little to do with making money, as you're going to see. But we got to maximize our time. And to start, I want to know what it's costing you to sit here and listen to me for an hour. What's it cost you? I know what it costs me to be with you for the hour. What does it cost you to sit here? What's your time worth? I want to help you understand this, because in order for us to maximize our time, we got to know what our current time is worth. So here's how it works. If you make $50,000 a year, you make about 25 bucks an hour. You make $100,000 a year, you make about $50 an hour. If you make 200,000, you make $100 an hour. 500,000, you make 250 bucks an hour. You get the idea. You cut it in half. So what are you worth right now? And the reason you got to know this is because you got to look at every task and action. Is it worth your time? So if I'm worth $250 an hour, am I going to go mow my lawn? No. Nope. Am I going to clean my house? Nope. Why? Because we delegate to escalate. Everything you can do for less, you delegate. So do we do contract to close? No. We have a transaction coordinator for that. Do we call our sellers every single week? Well, it depends how many we have, but we may have a listing coordinator. It depends. It depends the time that it takes of me. And so you want to always be ascending your time. Your goal is to double the hourly, double the yearly. And so what we got to do is we got to fire yourself from things you're doing that you don't need to be doing. So look at the things that you're doing. Maybe it's the thing that got you to where you are, but it's also the thing that's preventing you from getting to where you want to be, because you're hanging on to an action that maybe you see value. And I'm telling you to tell yourself you're fired, because those are the things that will keep us the same and keep us from growing. I look at it like this. There's high leverage activities. There's things that we do that will extract maximum results from our time and effort. And in real estate, I find that these four are the big four: prospecting, presenting, building relationships, and leading. So as a real estate agent, if I'm investing, let's say 8 hours in my real estate business, those 8 hours need to be made up of prospecting, presenting, building relationships, and leading. So I'm prospecting every day. Why? Because I'm unemployed every 90 days. The foot never comes off the lead generation and conversion throttle. Understand that it's not so much more leads you need, it's more conversion you need. And the prospecting brings the business so we can present. See, the presenting is the listing appointment. It's the buyer appointment. It's the webinar. It's the virtual listing appointment. It's doing the video, doing the podcast, doing the the summit, the presenting is something that you have to master. So ideally, you're on a listing appointment every day. So the goal would be to go set a listing appointment every day. I'm going to speak it into existence. You are going to go on a listing appointment every day. Set the intention of what it is that you want to do. Don't think about all the how it's going to happen. Just speak it. I'm going to take a listing appointment a day. Why? Because that's the best use of your time. So what we want to do is we want to set appointments. I tell people you're an appointment setter. Your job every day is to set appointments so we can present. Present so we can convert and turn that business into closings. Building relationships and leading. First, leading yourself, then you can lead other people. I look at it like this in the places of prospecting, presenting, building relationships and leading. So a lot of times it's the hard things that bring the greatest results, but it's the hard things that create the more of the laws of resistance that prevent us from doing the work. And I look at it just like I used to milk cows. I'm willing to go milk cows. I'm willing to call for 3 hours a day. I'm willing to do the work. And so to do the work, I have to be in a place where I'm alone. I'm not looking for distractions or accolades. I'm investing my time. Usually it's in alone. I look at it like it's the jungle. I'm in the jungle. I never missed a day of prospecting because I looked at myself like I was in the jungle. I skipped the meeting in the real estate office because it wasn't important. It interfered with my time in the jungle. And my time in the jungle and that relationship is what produced the fruit. And it's the same for you. So for you, you want to do the work, you got to go put yourself in a place that the work can exist. And here's what happens. As you start, you're going to feel the law of resistance. Like everything against it is telling you not to do it, or it's hard, or why you can't do it. But it's just like this. When you get past the law of resistance, you get into flow state. And it's the law of resistance exists in everything that you do. No different than Lars. I know Lars is a runner. I bet the first mile, he's probably like me. I'm like, man, wrong song. This playlist isn't the right one. My feet hurt. Right? It's cold outside. It's hot outside. I'm telling myself reasons why I'm getting the engine started. But what happens after the first mile, Lars? We can run a dozen, right? I don't know about me, but I know you could. Because you get in that flow state. Here's what you want to do, y'all. You want to get, and especially in the market we're going into, you want to get in that flow state every day. Every day you get in that flow state because that's what you can control. And you don't control interest rates or the market. You only control what you. But that's good news, is you're not affected by those things. You're only affected how you react to those things. Who cares what the market's doing? You don't look at the market in a place of fear. You look at the market in a place of opportunity. And I look at the market that we just came out of, and I think, thank God we're coming out of that market. And thank God we're going into a shifting market, because the shifting market is what's going to be set up for success for you. I mean, come on, was that fun selling real estate in the last few years? No. Like, what are we scared of? This is a blessing. Let's take it and receive it. So here's what we want to do. We want to have these conversations, and to have conversations, and how you dominate a shifting market is you bring more value to the marketplace. And in a shifting market, both sellers and buyers need you more than they did in the last few years. So it gives you the opportunity to bring more value. And to do this, you got to master your marketing. I look at this like a few skills. People skills will make you $100,000 a year. That's an important skill. Sales skills will make you $250,000 a year. Marketing skills on top of it will make you $500,000. And when you learn to teach people sales, marketing, and people skills, it'll make you millions. But it all starts with people skills, then sales skills, then marketing skills. I'm going to shift gears to some marketing skills. I want you to put yourself in a place where you're at a listing appointment. The seller's interviewing 3-4 other agents, and they ask you the question, why should I do business with you? Better said, why should your prospects do business with you? As you're presenting and you're on these and you're presenting every day, like, how are you positioning your value? Can I unmute? Can we unmute, Lars, and like listen to the people's responses?
Yeah, they can unmute. They should be able to unmute themselves, or we can go to the chat, whatever you want. Either way.
Chat. Y'all chat it up, unmute. I just want to hear, why should your prospects do business with you? Unmute, be brave. What comes to mind? I proved my point.
Oh, I guess I would say I'm going to listen to them, ask more questions than talking over them and trying to sell them on me. I want to find out what they really need, and then find out how to solve that problem.
Right. Keep trucking. Who else?
Provide a lot more value in your competitors.
Okay.
I can't tell you if I'm better than that person or the other one, because I don't believe there's any one better person or agent. I believe it's all about who you get to know, who you are comfortable with, who is going to go along with your goals that you feel to the best of what you need. I'm here to do that for you. I believe I can get that done. I would love to show you how. Do you have time to sit down for a little bit longer and see the process?
Thank you all for being brave. I appreciate that. Thank you. And here's my point is, you want to know exactly what to say in that moment. And the way to do this is, you want to learn how to communicate your value. So what happens? I ask that question. I've asked that question thousands of times in seminars and online events. And people say like, well, I've been in business for 30 years and everything I touched turned to sold. I got my GRI, my CRS, my ABR. I'm a household name. I mean, I'm not knocking designations. I mean, you should have designations. You should be learning based and stacking that education, investing in yourself. I'm just telling you, don't put those things on the back of your name thinking that that's going to get the phone to ring. So what we got to do is we got to know how to communicate your value. And when people, when I learned that when people take this, it gives them a message. So the marketing gives us the message to say. And the question is, well, what is the answer? Why should your business prospects do business with you? Well, you got to understand, they don't care about you. They don't care you've been in business for 30 years. I'm telling you this, how I learned that is I was in my early 20s, taking a listing a day, beating out top agents, mega agents, luxury agents. I was just a country redneck that just moved to Texas from Missouri. I talked like one. You listen to me back in the old days, I sounded like a little country redneck. And I'm over there taking a listing a day. Why? Because people don't care about me. They care about themselves. They care about their time, and they care about their money. And I showed them what I could do to save them time and money. And that's what we got to do. We got to learn how to show people what we do to save them time and money, how to package it, present it, and how to extract the best message. So here's what I'll tell you. Somebody said it earlier. What do you say? There's more information there's more information needed, more context needed on how to answer that question of why should my prospect do business with me? Because I would say that on the other side of asking several questions. And when I'm asking those questions, here's what I'm doing. I'm looking for the pain. I'm going to help you with this today. I'm going to show you how to find a prospect's pain, and then how do you present the solution to that pain. So people have problems. What we got to do is we got to solve their problems. And the problems in real estate, here's what you're going to see. They need to sell the home fast. They don't want to be locked into a contract. The last agent didn't communicate with them. That's the biggest complaint in the industry. They want to sell the home on their own. Maybe they're selling a FSBO. They want an aggressive agent. They can't afford to pay your commission. Those are the problems. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a solution to each of these problems. And the solution will be a unique solution. And so when we're asked the question why, we have a solution to present. So a solution would be like this. It would be a certified pre-owned home program. So, Mr. Seller, well, I have a certified pre-owned home program, sells homes for 4.8% more money in 28 days faster than the MLS average. Our certified pre-owned home program is a The reason we outsell the average agent 10 to 1. It's exclusive program for us in this market. And I'm convinced that it can help you get top dollar in our marketing services. So can I come by Thursday at 7:30, sit down with you, show you how I and leveraging our marketing can get you top dollar? Yeah, sure. You see how I use the name Certified Pre-Owned Home Program as a way to create interest? See, this is what's missing in your words. This is what's missing in your messaging, in your presenting, is you want to be solution based. Because here's what's going to happen is you're going to see in a shifting market, you're going to have to go after people who don't know you. And to go after people who don't know you and convert them, we have to go there with a message. So think about the certified pre-owned. And by the way, I made this up. I mean, I remember driving by, I live in Plano, Texas. I was driving by a car dealership and I saw certified pre-owned cars and it hit me. I'm like, why is there not a certified pre-owned home program? I mean, that I could sell that. So I thought it up, came out with it. I mean, think about it. Let's say the home on the left, that little $298,000. It's a lot more money than that now. It's probably about a $900,000 home now. But the home on the left is a certified pre-owned home. Comes with a warranty, pre-inspection, maybe appraisal's been done depending on the market. Maybe it's had a pest inspection depending on the market. But then home B is to be negotiated, $285,000. Which home is a buyer going to want to buy? And here's what a certified pre-owned home program is it instills confidence and certainty for the buyer in a transaction. I mean, it's proven that a buyer will pay more for certainty. That's why they love the certified pre-owned cars. That's why Mercedes-Benz and all the top car dealers use it because it works. So here's what I'm telling you is you want to use and leverage a program. You can create a program, but we got to go to the market with a message that is unique. One thing that is indisputable is you need a marketing plan, because if you're going to go on a listing appointment every day, we got to show sellers what we can do to get them top dollar, how we can extract maximum equity in a shifting market, how we can uniquely compete with everybody in our market. The reason it's important to name your marketing plan is because of this. If you're asked the question, what are you going to do to market my home? I'm not going to, you don't have to unmute. What would you say? Well, you always know when somebody says, well, that they're full of it. They don't know what's coming. They don't have one. Well, let me think about it. Here's what you got to do with confidence. You got to be able to tell them, Mr. Seller, I have an 89-point marketing plan that works like magic, selling homes like yours fast for the most amount of money. My 89-point marketing plan, it will help you get top dollar in this shifting market. I'd like to come by Thursday at 7:30, sit down with you and Shirley, show you this marketing plan, show you what I can do to get you top dollar. Will both you and Shirley be there Thursday at 7:30? The marketing plan creates interest. Think about it like an umbrella. I'm not getting into all 89 things because I don't need to get into all 89 things because I have a thing. And when you have a thing, it gives you expert positioning. And that's what you need in today's market is you need to be seen as the expert. I'm in Dallas, and I know one of the top real estate agents in the country is expanding. He's recently expanding into Dallas. So I'm listening to all of his radio shows or his radio commercials on the radio. You listen, all of a sudden it'll go. And here's what the message says. It's he has a couple, but what's he talking about on that ad? He's talking about his performance guarantee. Well, he'll sell the home in 29 days or he'll sell it for free. He's talking about his aggressive 77-point marketing plan that works like magic. It gives us the message and the words. Here's what happens. When you have this, it changes everything. This is why most people aren't on a listing appointment every day because they don't think this way. I want you to think like a marketer. Real estate's easy. It's finding the buyers and sellers that's hard. Which sounds better? I've been in business for 30 years, or I've been to 5,767 successful closings, right? Being specific creates more interest. So if you've been to business 30 years, Don't tell them that. Go calculate how many closings you've been to. It'll sound better. So here's what I want you to do. I don't want you to leave here today without having a marketing plan and naming it. So what is your marketing plan and what's the name of it? Because when you're prospecting, you're on the phone, you're going to need these words to be able to convert. Next, systems execution. We got to build a system that forces the work out of you and forces the follow-up, forces the communication, because in the absence of a system, nothing will happen. What does that mean? We got to build a machine that tells us what to do. Here's why. 80% of sales happen on the 5th to 12th contact. Now, I believe in this market, 80% of sales should and can happen on the 1st to 2nd contact because there's urgency in the market. But only 10% of agents make more than 3 contacts. This is why 95% of the business is done by 5% of the agents. This is why most agents fail in this industry, because they don't have enough conversations with prospective sellers and buyers. They don't have the conversations because they don't have a system, and they don't make the calls because they don't know the words to say. And when we solve those problems, that's how we can have a breakthrough. So I'm going to help you with this. I'm going to help you build a machine. I want you to think of it like this. In a shifting market, don't think in terms of generating leads. Think in terms of acquiring data. Now, I'm not saying don't generate leads. Okay. Yes, lead gen is important, but acquire data. For example, you want to dominate a niche where the 100% of the niche want to sell their home, or 100% of the niche needs your help. So to do this, we need 2 things. We need a lead source and we need a CRM. So a CRM is it's the hub of operations. It's where, like, we don't even know how to breathe unless we log into the CRM. Understand this, that you have to depend on the CRM, not just dabble in it. We got to depend on it. Otherwise, we're not going to get into flow. We're not going to get the numbers that we need. And we're going to dominate niches because the riches are in the niches. This is how you can go from 0 to 30 listings in 30 days. How? I'm not telling you to generate a bunch of seller leads. I'm telling you to acquire data where the niche want to sell. So what is this? How does it break down? Well, there's 2 types of niches. You have the Met database and the Habit Mets. The Mets are the people that you know. The A's love you. The B's like you. The C's know you. They're past clients, preferred vendors. Some of you get all your business from the Mets. It's all referral based. That's where you prefer. But the other side is the Habit Mets. These are people who don't know you. It's the marketplace, the specialty niches, the for sale by owners, the expireds, the REO, probate, neighborhood farm, divorces, downsizers, all of the niches, the 30, 60, 90-day late on their mortgage niche. So what you want to do is you want to know that in the market that you're going into, you want to be able to be fishing in both of these ponds. So if you aren't going after the Habit Mets, you need to now. If you just go after the Habit Mets, we need to get more referrals on the Met side. So here's my question. I find that most people prefer one or the other. What do you prefer? Do y'all prefer the Mets or the Habit Mets? Put it in the chat. Let me see. Do you prefer the Met business or the Habit Met business? You can unmute and say. I guess the chat.
A little bit of both. Most of my Mets, because I'm military, they're folks that I met 10 and 20 years ago. And I'm just reconnecting with them. And those calls turn into 15, 20, and even an hour-long call of catching up. So the not Mets sometimes are quicker.
Yep. That's Mets. Look at this. Met, haven't met, met or referred, met, not met, haven't met, haven't met. I mean, I'm about to start auctioneering here. Met for sure, Mets. So some people have a conviction in this. Oh, Mets for sure. I don't like cold calling. I don't like prospecting. Here's what I'm telling you. I'm never going to ask you to cold call anybody. I don't look at calling a for sale by owner as cold call. I look at that like warm, hot, smoking hot, sizzling calling. I mean, this person wants to sell. I'm in a shifting market. I got to I have to dominate listings. I got to stack my listings. Like, I'm going to invest my time in going after people that already know who want to sell, because if I don't go after those people, I got to spend time and money on finding those people. And here's the thing, no matter what model you choose, all roads lead to the phone. You can buy 1,000 quality leads of sellers, but you still got to call them. You can run a fancy Facebook funnel ad campaign, that works and attracts traffic, but at the end of the funnel, all roads lead to the phone. So don't avoid the phone. Use the phone as a way to be able to maximize your time. Here's some 21 target markets. Feel free to take a look at that. Which markets are you going to dominate? What markets are you going to target? Here's what I did. My first year, as I told you, all of my business came from for sale by owners. All of it. I remember there was a guy that in my real estate office, he said, I pull in and he had 5 wrap comers. And this guy was a top agent. His name's Mike Reese. A lot of you guys may know Mike, good friend of mine now. I pull into the office and I see his 5 wrap comers. I'm like, what? And he has this picture on the side of him. He looked young. I mean, and I was like 21 or 2 at the time. And I go to my broker. I'm like, who is that? She goes, that's Mike Reese. His office is right down there. And I walk up to his office. I go, what are you doing to get all this business? And he looks at me and he goes, you ever heard of for sale by owners? I go, yeah, I've heard of them. He goes, well, there's services that will send you every day all the for sale by owners that come up in the market overnight. I go, I've never heard of such a thing. He goes, yeah. And he gave me the name. I went home, got the service, took my first listing that day. Second day, took my second. The rest is history. That's why the riches are in the niches. So you want to find the niche that you can go, because you can control your actions and time versus waiting for people to come to you. We're going to people. For sale by owners was my first niche, and I love FSBOs. I love expireds. There's going to be more and more expired listings coming on the market, off the market. They're going to need your help. People who are 30 days late, 60 days late, 90 days late on their mortgage, those people are going to need your help. Probate leads, people going through the probate process. So find your niche, pick the one, and go dominate it. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to put these people, you're going to acquire the data, right? So like think about their name, address, phone number, and you're going to put them on a campaign. You can see it. This is like an example expired campaign. One thing that I want my campaign to do is I want it to text. I want it to trigger a text throughout the campaign that doesn't require me to send it, but the system is. So when they reply, I can pick up and it's force prospecting. So the CRM that you use needs to leverage technology in a way that you can use texting in the campaign, and you can take those people into a one-on-one conversation. And this is an example of a campaign. This one campaign right here has made a lot of agents a lot of money because now they know what to do. They know what to say. They know how to do it. And this is what is missing from a lot of people's business. They don't have leads on campaigns. Therefore, the most important things in their business don't happen. Here's what doesn't happen: a conversation. This is all we're doing, is having a conversation with prospective buyers, sellers, investors. And in that conversation, here's what it is. I want you to think like the doctor. You're the doctor. Doctor rolls in. He's got a stethoscope on, got his robe on. He's already the authority, already instant respect, because we're taught from a young age to respect authority. So we want to be the authority. We want to be seen as the doctor. We walk into the room. What's the doctor do? Doctor starts asking questions. What hurts? How long's it been hurting? Where is it at? Does this hurt? Does that hurt? Taking any of this? Taking any of that? Asking questions to find what? The pain. Trying to find the pain. And here's what he does. He pulls out, after he asks a dozen questions, and he says, oh, you need the 89-point marketing plan that sells homes fast for most amount of money. Oh, you need the certified pre-owned program to sell. See, this is what the marketing arsenal gives us: a prescription pad that are the solutions to the pain that we identify in the conversation after a series of questions. So this conversation is simply a series of questions. Like if you were to hear me on the phone, call a FISBO, call an expired, call a buyer lead, sign call. I don't care. Here's what you're going to hear me do. Ask a dozen questions before I make a statement. I'm going to dig. I'm the doctor. I'm asking and I'm uncovering. And this is all you got to do. Selling is nothing but asking questions to find the pain and provide solutions to the pain. And ideally, those solutions have a unique name that gives us a message to say. So this will solve a lot of problems. And lastly, as I wrap up, I'll open it up for some questions. The part that you can control is taking action. It requires the work, but here's what happens is the skills get built. You want to build the skills. The skills lead to the muscle, and that muscle is what leads to the next level. So right now is a time to invest in that time. It's a season to invest in that time. It's a season to get back to the basics. It's a season to build relationships. It's a season to just buckle down and do the work. And that is what you're going to do if you especially dominate niches to thrive in a shifting market. So with that, Lars, I'll let you go ahead and take it from here, open it up. If we have time for some questions.
Yeah, let's take advantage of the time that we have and get some questions. Just hearing you, so coming out of this is gonna probably date myself a little bit, but 2007, I started with Proctor. Then I got introduced to your stuff, and your stuff was like, this is the stuff that nobody had to do in the last 2.5 years. Right. So everyone got away from, and good agents that are on this call can't even answer the question, like, what makes you different? What's unique about, so it's sort of the basics of business, unique selling proposition. Go spend a little bit more time on that. Cause I think that's something that is like monumentally powerful, that I think it's the main thing that will separate folks that can like double, triple, quadruple their business in the next 2 years to agents that are just gonna, like the brave soul that said it, like, I'm like every other agent. I'm just a little bit more friendly. I'm going to outfriend the other agent, which is kind of the strategy that we use as an industry. So talk about unique selling proposition, value proposition, and how you've used it effectively with listing boss folks.
It's funny because the one thing that I look for in marketing is I am trying to solve a problem. I look for the name of it. I look for a way to package it and present it. And I look for it. And everything has a name. Why? Because the name creates that interest in that powerful message. And you know where I learned this? I mean, this is unique selling proposition. That's a word I haven't heard in a while. That's right. But know that just the other day, I had a client loves dogs. In her headshot, she has her dog. She has another partner. They love dogs. They have like these dog images as part of their brand. And I said, you know what you need? You need a dog program. And they're like, what do you mean dog program? I go, well, you love dogs. You need to create a dog program that you have, let's say like, adoption, pet adoption services. You have where people can, if they find a dog or they're adopting a dog, you create this community around pet lovers and you call it something like, Charlotte loves Charlotte pet lovers. You see, Charlotte Pet Lovers program, and we manage an adoption process. We're partnered with this person and that person. We have get your dog washed, free grooming for a day, right? Saturday, bring your dog, get groomed. You have all these dog programs, and they're like light bulbs just going off. I'm like, that's what I mean. Is you love dogs. Let's go deeper. Let's name it something. Let's call it something. Let's build relationships from it. Like take the certified pre-owned home program. Like that includes inspectors. It includes partners, and it includes different people that you can bring into it, right? It includes appraisers. It includes different types of partners. So like when you have a unique program, it allows your partners to come together, and it allows you to have the words to say. And I would just think, like, what are you trying to solve? What problem are you trying to solve? And what's the name of it? Just think like, what's the name? It's always, go ahead.
I remember when we added to our listing menu, it was, sort of the whatever plan. And on the right, is the plan that you don't want really anyone to take. It was $24.97 up front, 10% commission, certified pre-owned. And then someone took it and you're like, wait, what? We don't really do it all that much, but you're going to give us a check. So they prepay all the stuff. That's how we did it anyway.
Yeah.
You know, $24.97 up front. We're going to make sure your home is, and the analogy of the house is one thing, but when you give the analogy of a car, like I bought a car at auction and I bought a car from the dealer certified pre-owned, and the certified pre-owned comes with a hefty price tag, but you feel comfortable buying a BMW from the BMW dealer and they give you the 12-month or whatever. And then, you know, I bought a BMW from auction where the battery wasn't working. You know, it was totally trashed. It hadn't been even cleaned yet, but it came cheaper and I had to do some of the repairs. So I think when you could speak to those analogies in those conversations, I think it's really, really powerful.
Yeah. Here's a good one, because I get this one a lot. I wrote this book. Where is the book? Listing Boss. This book, and don't get, if you don't have this book, you can go get it. But great book to read. It encompasses a lot of what I'm talking about. By the way, can I tell them that, Lars, to get it you can get it on Amazon or listingbossbook.com.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's cheaper on listingbossbook.com, but I know how Amazon works. You just pay the shipping and handling. But in there, I talk about different programs. And one program that I talk about that people implement that I hear the most is the Smart Seller program. So a Smart Seller program is something I created because I was going after FSBOs. And I would get to the appointment and the FSBO would say, well, I just had Timmy, come in with his mom and they, yesterday, and they're supposed to be submitting an offer on Friday. So I'm not going to make any decision until Friday, until I see what the offer is. Well, I've heard that story. The offer's never coming, like, what can I do to get this person to take action? So I just created it. Smart Seller program. The Smart Seller program allows you to sell the property yourself while it's listed with me. And if you sell it, you don't pay me a penny. The only way you would pay me is if I get the property sold before you. It comes with a menu of commission rates and a no hassle presentation. Our Smart Seller program is loved by the FSBOs. So like, why did we create it? So we can say we have a Smart Seller program. Just think that way, y'all. When you think that way, it changes everything. You'll quadruple your conversion.
Yeah. Shane asked the question, what are your top questions to ask that help find the pain?
The whys, the hows, the whats, and the whens. So think the whys, the hows, the whats, and the whens are the power questions, and those are what get people to open up. Here's what I will tell you though. When you're asking the whys, the whats, in the whens and the hows, they're going to give you an answer. And then based on that answer, you're going to know what question to ask, because you're going to ask a question based on that answer. So ask a question, get an answer, ask a question based on that answer, get another answer, ask another question based on that answer. And that's where the pain and the motivation is.
What did the different commission structures look like in the Smart Seller program?
0% if you sell the home yourself, 1% if you do find a buyer and you procure the buyer and you want a licensed real estate agent, take you from contract to close, we will manage that process for you. If old Timmy does bring the offer for 1%. And then 5% if we represent you on the buy side and the sell side, and 6% if another broker brings the buyer.
Awesome.
So you can sell your home for as little as 0%, depending on what you're looking for is what we charge. Here's why you create the menu of commission rates, because when you get the question, what's your commission rate? How you answer that question. Like if you're on the phone and somebody says, what's your commission rate? And you say 6%, dude, you lost. If you said 4%, you lost. There's nothing you can say to give them what they're looking for. So you agree, Lars, right? Like answering that is like, you can go bare bones low and still never good enough, or high and you still lose.
And is it your word tracking, the flexible commission structure? How would you answer that question on the phone?
Which commission structure? I'll say, well, we offer a menu of commission rates. So whatever you're looking for is what we charge. I'll go over everything with you at our appointment Thursday at 7:30. Well, I want to know what your commission is before you come out here. I understand we have a menu of commission rates, depending on what you're looking for is what we charge. I'll go over everything with you at our appointment. You see, you can ask the same question 3 times in a row. You can answer the same question the same way multiple times. Like, and end it. It's time to move on. We'll go over it at the appointment. So here's an example of asking the same question 3 times. Let's say I'm calling a FSBO. Hey, FSBO. Hey, Mr. FSBO, I see you're selling your home for sale by owner. Are you willing to pay a 3% co-op if I brought you a qualified buyer? No, I wouldn't do that. Okay. So what question do I ask? Okay. So you're telling me if I brought you a qualified buyer that wrote a healthy offer, you wouldn't pay 3%? Nah, I don't know. I may pay 2. So even if it's a top dollar offer, you wouldn't pay 3? Well, maybe, I guess, with the top dollar offer, I pay 3. You always get a different answer every question you ask. And I'm going to, and when you ask the same question again, it helps you maintain control of the conversation. And you must be in control of the conversation because whoever's in control wins.
What's the psychology around the 0%? So we have a question. I think I know the answer, but the psychology of offering in a smart seller a 0% option. What's the psychology?
So you can sell your home for as little as 0%.
Simply see, it never happened. I ran your program for years
Well, it does happen if they procure the buyer. So let's say on like a smart seller program, let's say Timmy brings the offer and he doesn't want me to represent him from contract to close, then it's 0%. He don't pay me anything.
Yeah. I remember that never happened to me though.
No, it never happened.
So as agents, we get worried, like, I don't want to sell a bunch of houses for 0%, but the requirement is like you listed an MLS and it's your sign in the yard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how I'm going to beat my competitor is through, like on a listing appointment, I'm going to have 5 solutions. I'm going to think 5 solutions. Like mine was my communication guarantee. I called my sellers every single Tuesday, talked about the good, the bad, the ugly, showings, the feedback. I didn't care if I had nothing to say to you. You're going to hear my voice every Tuesday. The reason I create this communication guarantee, 2 reasons. It forces me to communicate because if I don't tell the prospect I'm going to call every Tuesday or they can fire me, I won't call them every Tuesday. Right. So it forces communication from me. And I understand that I won't work unless I'm forced to work, a lot like y'all. So I got to put that out there. So when they say the last agent didn't communicate, I can say, well, I understand. That's why we have our communication guarantee. You can fire me on the spot if I don't call you on Tuesday. Easy exit listing. The reason I create the easy exit listing is so I can make it risk-free. I want to be able to make it risk-free for people. Look, if you're not satisfied with the services, I didn't deliver on anything I promised you, you can fire me on the spot. Our easy exit listing agreement allows you to do that. Why do I do that? Because you're going to gain more business than you will ever lose by making it risk-free for your prospects to do business with you. You don't go into stepping into a solution in fear-based, thinking you're going to lose business, thinking it's going to cost you something, because the reality is most won't, most don't. I mean, like Lars said, I mean, I can count on one hand how many homes I sold for free. I can count on one hand how many FSBOs brought the buyer, maybe 10.
Yeah. And I think I think you had on both sides, you had a cancellation guarantee, which is probably one of the more powerful, things that you can offer a seller or a buyer. So talk about the psychology of making your agreements cancelable.
Because I'm taking a listing every day. So the amount of business that I gain outweighs the amount of business I lose, and there's restrictions around these things, like if they want to cancel, I mean, if I can't, it's got to be something I can't fix. So if I can fix it in 24 hours, for example, like I'm not going to get a call from a seller that says, hey, I told you I wanted all the lights turned off after every showing. I want to cancel because the last agent left the light on. What? I have no control over that. So there's some restrictions, but just know that, like, as I said, the amount of business you gain outweighs the amount of business you ever lose or what it costs you.
Yeah.
But you need to get in flow where you're getting listings, taking actions that's producing results. We got to win more, y'all. We got to win. We got to experience more wins. We got to win every day. The reason we do this every day is so we win every day. You know, the amount of celebration and winning when you set an appointment, amazing. When you go on a listing appointment, it's winning. When you take it, it's winning. This winning is what you want to experience. So that winning is what keeps you going. You don't want to go weeks without a win. Like, come on, we got to win one.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, brother. I appreciate any last sort of words of wisdom for us to go out there and brave the shifted market.
Yeah, just be the first one to pivot. Like, don't wait a month to implement what I talked about today. Like, let's go. Pivot fast. Like, I tell people, be the first one to jump off the Titanic. Like, if it's going down, I'm gone, man. I'm not hanging around for this show. I'm going. Why? Because there's a period. Like, I know people that went down with the Titanic and they're still emotionally compensated from that. Why? Because they're hurt and wounded. Why? Because they didn't move on. So it's a season to keep doing what we're doing that works, but expand in places and expand in things that are going to force you to maybe be a little uncomfortable, but that uncomfortable and that is good for you. So don't sit too long because the weeds overtake the garden. Get to stepping. Let's go. Market shifting.